intro us to her.
Absolutely. I'd love to introduce Linda Moran. Linda has been a client for many years, but her story is really quite phenomenal for anyone out there who's ever suffered from chronic fatigue. So would you like to tell us a little bit about your story, Linda?
Thank you, Madonna. Thank you, Bathan. The starting of the chronic fatigue, well, when it was really bad, was in 2012, and it had such an impact on my life. It was really difficult to get out of bed. I was achy all the time. It affected my marriage. It affected my parenting. My children felt they were missing out of things because they didn't get to go to activities. It was just a really difficult time, and I didn't feel that anyone understood or there was any solutions.
Yeah.
For some time you had been saying to me,
clean up your diet.
Yeah, clean up your diet, and I didn't listen.
Yeah.
And I just kept going and trying to do the best that I could, but totally exhausted.
It took about 2 years for you to change your diet, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was. I ended up in hospital one night, and I left the next day, and basically they said on the discharge paper that I was somatization, in terms of that I was actually possibly, potentially imagining what I was going through. And that was quite a scary situation to be in, to not have an understanding of my own illness,
Yeah.
but not have the medical
Support. Yeah.
So what I did, and you will probably remember this, was that I got in the car and I went home. I had a big cry, and I thought, I have to take my own health into my own hands. No one seems to be getting it, except for you knew that what was going on and you were supporting me, but I needed some medical support.
Absolutely.
At that time. So what I did was I got home, and then I just knew I had to call you, and it was the end of your day and you stayed back. And I went, I came over and had a treatment, and I apologised. I said, Madonna, I am so sorry for never listening to you about diet. I am so sorry, and I am going to change right here, right now, because I want to live, and I want to be around. I want to be with my family.
Yeah, I remember, if it's okay for me to say, Linda actually felt like she was going to die. That's how bad things were. She was starting to almost get ready to put things in order in her world.
Yeah, I did. To be honest, I didn't think that I had long, because I was really struggling, and it wasn't evident because I looked so well, I dressed well, and
Yeah. And throughout all of this, you actually finished your Masters.
I did, surprisingly.
Yeah,
I did.
and I think that's one of the amazing.
And I was working.
Yeah. So, what was your Masters in?
Masters of Social Work and Counselling.
Okay. So, as a counsellor, then, what would you have What would you have found? Like, if you were thinking diagnosis, and I know you can't diagnose as a counsellor, but what would you have been thinking people would have thought about you?
I think generally what the biomedical model looks at, they would generally refer to mental health and be looking at trauma in the person's life,
Right.
Depression, anxiety, but they often can exclude the actual components in regard to what the person is eating, and that was very critical for me, because it was actually my diet that had contributed to my unwellness.
Because you had huge amount of physical symptoms. So yes, there was the tiredness, but you had a lot of gut pain, liver pain, digestive system, which is why, cleaning up the diet was just so important, because people don't realise how inflammatory the diet is.
Yes, and mine was. I remember the year before, I think the year before I really hit the worst part in terms of energy-wise, and the severe fatigue, and it really was severe for me. I had the whole year where I just wanted to eat everything chocolate, everything. It didn't matter. I just wanted it.
So that quick spike in insulin is what your nervous system, your brain, your energy needed in order to get any energy whatsoever.
Yeah. And I was literally killing myself with my diet, because I was eating foods that were not whole.
Yes.
I wasn't having nearly enough fruit or vegetables.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a break for a minute, and when we come back, we'll chat about the how you did manage that in your world, because people often say, well, when you take away, say, wheat and dairy, what am I going to eat? So we'll chat about that in a minute, about how you really can start to take control of these things and what a difference it made, energy-wise.
Thanks, Madonna, and thank you, Linda, too, because that's